Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Julie Ambani, commonly known as Jules. On this channel we love to talk about books, literature, development, and a sprinkle of other things here and there. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, feel free to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, share it with people you think would enjoy, and yeah, let's connect. It feels like it's been a minute since I filmed anything. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it still feels like a long time. But anyway, today I'm just going to give you guys a bit of a reading update, which is something I've not done in a few months. So I'm going to tell you what I've been reading for the months of April, May, and June, and whether I recommend those reads or not. Disclaimer: this year I've not read as much as I did last year. I think if I compare where I was last year in terms of reading and this year, I've really slowed down, but I'm okay with it. I just feel like I'm going to read what I want to read when I want to read. So there won't be like too many books on this list, despite it being a list that's supposed to be for 3 months. So the first book on the list is The Name of the Wind. This was a fantasy book club read for the month of April, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, for the month of April. So The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. If you've read fantasy or you're a fantasy lover, you know definitely Patrick Rothfuss is a household name. This is one of the most popular books ever in the fantasy world. I first of all really love this cover, and it's a thick book as well. It took me a minute to read this book. Now, would I recommend this book? Yes, but with caution. This is the old writing fantasy kind of book. I don't know, if you've read a lot of fantasy, you know that fantasy books have evolved in writing over the years. There's a time when fantasy books were written in this typical way, the same way Brandon Sanderson writes his books. That's kind of the vibe you get from this book. It's very huge. This is not a plot-driven book. It's more so a character-driven book. It's about the main character whose name I'm not sure how to pronounce. So I won't bother pronouncing, but he's a renowned person within that land, and he's called the Kingslayer. So someone named the Chronicler, who chronicles life events, approaches him to give a detailed and accurate description of his life event from his own words. So basically how the series is written: Book 1 is day 1 of the narration, Book 2 is day 2 of the narration, and Book 3 is supposed to be day 3 of the narration. So this author wrote Book 1 and 2. People have been waiting for Book 3 for over 8 years. Yep. So he says, I think due to mental health reasons or something, he's not been able to finish up Book 3. Will we ever get Book 3? I don't know. Now, do I recommend this book? Yes. If you're into the specific fantasy book written back in the day where it's just like a feel-good kind of book, then you'll enjoy this. The magic system is not even too complex. There's just a lot of narration. But to me, it was interesting. However, I feel like the story is so dragged on and on. Like, by the end of this book, I still am not sure what The Name of the Wind is. Like, I have an idea, but I'm yet to see it in full effect. However, I liked this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a polarizing review in the fantasy book club. Some people really liked it, some people did not. But yeah, that's The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. The second book I read was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is a book that hit the bookstagram streets with a bang. It was everywhere. And for that reason, I wasn't too sure whether I wanted to read it. However, my plug for romance books, I've mentioned her name a lot of times here. It's Harriet. I told her, hey, I'm looking for a mature romance book to read. I've realized I prefer that kind of romance book. So she was like, why don't you try this book? So I decided I'm going to try it. I got the ebook, I read it, and you know what? I liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's basically a book about a couple who lost a child, and basically how that affected their marriage and their relationship in general, and how they try to piece their lives back together. I will say it's not a typical romance book. And when I say that, I mean it's not those kind of romance books where there's a lot of angst. There's, I don't know, it's not enemies to lovers. I don't know if this qualifies as second chance romance. So if you're looking for all that kind of thing, maybe this might not be the book for you. However, it's a book I do recommend. It's very realistic. It's Black love. They talk about very realistic stuff. So for me, I liked it. I do recommend it. So that's before I let go. Book number 3 is All I've Wanted, All I've Needed. Again, this was a recommendation from Harriet. I needed something light and quick and cute to just, I think in between reading heavy books, I just wanted something light, and she recommended this and I loved it. I think I gave it like a 5-star. First of all, it's short, it's quick, it's cute, it's Black love without struggle, and yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I can't fully remember the synopsis, but I know it's about a girl who changes her life, moves from one city to another to start afresh after her previous relationship did not work. She meets a guy there who honestly was so attractive in how he was written. And basically she's learning how to be independent, make her own choices. And yeah, this guy kind of falls into the plans, and it's a pretty cute and short read. Honestly, I do recommend it. If you're looking for something quick to boost your mood or something, I recommend that book. The next book is When Love Becomes a Need. If I'm being very honest, this book felt like rereading All I've Wanted, All I've Needed. Like the storyline was kind of almost the same. It was also short, quick, cute. So again, I don't have much to say about this because I think I read it too fast. I don't remember much. But all I know is that it was really cute and it had a lot of representation in it. Yeah, I think the main character was Muslim, if I'm not wrong. I did enjoy it. It's also a quick, no struggle kind of book. So yeah, these 2 books, if you're looking for a quick, cute romance, I will recommend those 2. The next read was The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This was our fantasy book club read for the month of May. May or June. I'm really confused with this month, but it was a fantasy book club read. I personally DNF'd this book. I think I was not in the right headspace to fully enjoy what the book was about. So the book is basically about New York, which I didn't know this before, but it's divided into boroughs, or are they pronounced boroughs? I'm not too sure. But each borough is like a person, and they're given the personality of how people from these areas are described to be. So there's, you know, like Staten Island, there's Brooklyn, there is, I don't remember, but basically I felt like I was not in the right headspace to read this book. It's a book I definitely want to revisit because I like the concept that's there. It's even a book, it's one of those books I would love to see as a TV series or something. It's those kind of books. But people really liked it. I will revisit it because I liked the idea that Jemisin had with this book. I just feel like I wasn't in the right headspace to read it and enjoy it. Then we have The Girl and the Stars by Mark Lawrence. This was last month's fantasy book club read. That's why I'm telling you I'm very confused about this month. I've read this book before, so I was just rereading it. I really like it. However, it got like a lot of mixed reviews among the book club members, and I kind of understand them. With Mark Lawrence, you'll either enjoy his writing or you won't. I fall in the bandwagon that enjoys the writing. Furthermore, this book is set in the same world as my favorite book by Mark Lawrence. So I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the crossover as the series continues. So would I recommend this? yes and no, with a grain of salt. Just have a look at the synopsis, see if it's something you'd like to read. But what I will say is, if I had to choose between this and The Girl and if I had to choose between this and Red Sister, which is the other series set in the same world, I would say go for Red Sister. That is my absolute favorite books by Mark Lawrence as of now, and Nona Gray is one of my favorite female characters ever. So maybe I should do a video on my favorite female characters. But yeah, that was this. I don't have much to say about it because even trying to explain what's going on in this book is a lot. Then we have Things They Lost by Okwiri Odwor. I have a full video dedicated to this book and what it's about and what I thought about it. I'm going to add the link somewhere, either in this video or in the description. This was a love for me. I gave it 5 stars. It's by a Kenyan author. I really loved this book. I'm a proud Kenyan, so I really love when I find good Kenyan books. This is one of the best Kenyan books I've read, and I highly recommend this. Give it a shot. Now we move on to what I am currently reading. So I'm reading City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is this month's fantasy book club read, and I'm 25% in. I love it, guys. I love it. If you've read A Master of Jinn and enjoyed it, this should definitely be something you want to read next. As you guys know, my rule this year was read the ebook first. If I love it, get a physical copy. I highly see myself getting a physical copy of this book. I just love it so much. The thing about this book and A Master of Jinn, they give really good representation of, I don't know if it's ancient Egypt and the Islam way that they live there. My friend Alia really loves this book and also A Master of Jinn because she says she relates so much with the representation that's there, the organic wordings of the different things. She relates with them, and I like books that are written without having to explain what is what. I, as the reader, will have to figure it out because you're writing it unapologetically as per the culture you're representing. So I'll give a detailed review of this book and maybe a comparison with A Master of Jinn, but I'm currently enjoying this so much. The other book that I'm also currently reading is One for Sorrow, Two for Joy. So I'm almost halfway with this. I did a previous video about 5 books I want to read this year, 5 African literature books I want to read this year from my shelf. This was one of them because it's been on my bookshelf for over a year. This book is easy to read. However, like many African literature books, it's heavy. There's a lot of heaviness, daddy issues. The main character has a very violent father, and we're shown how this has a ripple effect for the rest of her life, basically. So I'm not too sure how I'll rate it yet. I still want to know where the story goes, but it is heavy, though it's very well written. So guys, that's it. That's basically a reading update of what I've been reading for the past 3 months. I'm hoping to finish my 2 current reads within this month. Then I'll figure out what I want to read next. We're just going where the spirit leads. But let me know if you've read any of the books I've mentioned, whether you like them or not, and what you're currently reading. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.